We're back, y'all, and I'm bringing you my top 5 favorite new metal albums that came out this weekend. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, John Barbas. It's the weekend. Y'all know what that means. We got a lot of new, great, and crushing metal albums to talk about. But before we do my top 5, and as always, the album art of the week, let's talk about what some of the big bands released this week, because this week was huge. For me, the biggest one this week was Terrasite by Cattle Decapitation. I had the great privilege of getting that one early, so my review is already published on Metal Digest. Links to all my writings in the description. They need no introduction. Y'all know what kind of crazy progressive death metal they have. Make sure you check out Terrasite. And one of the bands that helped break me into extreme metal, Devildriver, has a new record called Dealing with Demons Volume 2. That groovy melodic death metal, y'all know what I'm talking about, check it out. And we also got a double album drop from the Acacia Strain, Failure Will Follow, as well as Step Into the Light. Why did these deathcore dudes drop 2 albums at once? Because one of them is more sludgy and one of them is fast and in your face. That's awesome. And then lastly, before we jump into the top 5, we've got a new album from Veil of Maya, one of the biggest tech death bands that there is. The name of the album is Mother. For some reason, the M is in parentheses. I'd love to ask those guys what that's about. Y'all gotta jump on this one. If you love it like that's the one. For my number 5 pick, I'm definitely gonna mispronounce this one. It's about 50-50. Let's see. It's either Gone Mage or Gone Mage. I'm not sure. Text is on the screen so you can see the spelling. And as always, every band's Bandcamp will be in the description. Easy for you to find. The name of this album is Astral Corridors. And this is some quirky, sludgy black metal with a lot of chiptune, electronic video game stuff going on. I've never heard anything quite like it in the black metal genre, and that's what really piqued my interest and made me want to include it in the list this week. Make sure you check it out. Coming in at number 4, I'm picking Unmaker with Limp from Limp. This is like some thrashy groove metal. What really got my attention on this one is it sounds to me a lot like early Machine Head, except for without all of the Iron Maiden influences. So take out all of those guitar harmonies, just go pure aggression, and that's what you have here. You'll like it if you check it out. Coming in at number 3, and this might be the most black metal I've ever picked for any top 5. Please don't be Nazis. Please don't be Nazis. Okay, the name of the band is Soulless, and the name of the album is The Supreme Resurgence, and this is atmospheric black metal. And the reason why I picked this one, I don't normally like atmospheric black metal. To me, it's just an excuse for them to do like synth and then tremolo picking, and it doesn't always sound good, but this band sounds great. And I think it's because the symphonic part of it is epic, and the guitars aren't just tremolo picking the chords at the same thing that the symphony's playing, but rather they're playing driving riffs that give it energy and movement. And therefore, it makes me want to headbang, which is not something I often say about black metal. That's why it's number 3 on this week's top 5. Check it out. Coming in at number 2, and I swear to y'all, I'm not giving up on my death metal roots. I'm a death metal guy. It's just this week there was a lot of really strong black metal. And like I said, I try to pick the best. This week it was the best. Come on, death metal guys. Other than Cattle Decapitation, where y'all at? Anyway, number 2, Non Est Deus with Legacy. This is pretty much straight up black metal, but what really made me like this one is the vocals. The vocals have sort of a goth like cadence. It doesn't have that goth like timbre to the voice. It doesn't have that vibe, but just the delivery of the vocals have that cadence that I've heard a lot from 80s goth and goth revival, and it gives it sort of a groove. It's kind of bouncy, which is not something I would often describe with black metal, but this one sounds good, and that's why it ranks so high this week. Make sure you check this one out. Tell me what you think. Am I gone crazy? And hey, before we jump into number 1, and I promise you it's not black metal, if you love metal the way that I love metal, all metal, except for power metal. You're in the right place. You should hit subscribe and join the Heavy Metal Philosophy community. If you like any of these bands, hit the like button. Help this spread far and wide so more people find these bands. It's what we do here. Now let's do number one. This week's number one really blew me away. This one's going to wind up on some people's AOTY lists. This is Omnirod with the Aminsul Rise. I am certain I mispronounced that. That's also what I do here, unfortunately. Y'all get at me with the correct pronunciation and I will check myself. But you need to check this music because this is some progressive death metal that I haven't heard before. This is like if Devin Townsend was brutal. There's all these soaring epic passages like you might hear on a Devin Townsend record, but then they just start crushing with the oh, and that's that shit I like. Y'all know that's that shit I like. That's why it's number one. But we're not done yet. Now let's talk about the album art of the week. Guess what the genre is for this week's album art of the week? That's right, it's black metal. And that is super weird because I almost never pick black metal for the album art because black metal album art is always the same. It's always a forest, a castle, some dark image with a corpse paint guy screaming, ah, or some dude holding a sword. It's just always same. There's hardly ever any artistry to it. There's just always something better every week, but not this week. This band finally gave me something different on their black metal album cover. All right, let's try this pronunciation. Wilczika Magija. I think that's right. Y'all let me know in the comments if I've once again butchered yet another pronunciation. But most importantly, check out this artwork. You can still be true Cavolt and have a, not so try-hard album cover and still stand out from your peers, and that's what they've done here. You got the black metal dude leading the horse with the black metal dude riding the horse. It's got this nice contrast to it. The logo is placed where I can actually see it. It's not hidden in the forest. I mean, this is how you do it. It doesn't have to be this epic production. You don't have to hire somebody to do an oil painting. You can do something like this and it'll stand out. If there was a record store these days and you saw it on the record store, it would stand out amongst the other album covers. That's how you do it. That's this week's album art of the week. So there you have it. Let me know what you think about these bands and these records. Which albums did you like this week? Because there were so many good ones. I'm sure you picked some that I didn't. And thank y'all so much for last week. I put up a poll in the community tab saying, hey, how do y'all want me to handle the top 5? Because I was on vacation with my wife for our wedding anniversary, and the overwhelming majority of you voted, take the weekend off. Thank you so much. I really did enjoy having my anniversary with my wife and spending time with her and not really worrying about stuff. And we went and saw Gojira, Mastodon, and Lorna Shore while we were down there. Podcast all about it. Click right here to hear that podcast. But most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you.